Hello friends. Student, today we are going to start a new chapter, that is chapter number 2, parallel lines. That is nothing but your chapter number 2 over here. And in that case we are entering into the first fundamental definition, that is called as a parallel lines. Step by step we are going to introduce the part. If in a given plane two lines are given and these two lines are not touches each other, then these two lines are called as parallel lines. Means this line can be extended up to any part, and if they does not intersect each other, if two lines in a given plane does not intersect each other, then the lines are called as parallel lines. So according to combination of a structure, we can understand in a given plane, if there are lines or two lines which does not intersect each other and both the lines are coplanar line, then such a lines are called as parallel lines. Now basically introductions of parallel line is already get completed in case of 8th standard. Moving to the next part. Here parallel line is maybe 2 or parallel line maybe 3. Means depending upon condition, they may give you 2 parallel line or they may give you 3 parallel line. Now one by one, why this example is in front of each other? Here the part to be taken into consideration. Here I am going to remove the plane of first structure so that we can discuss that part. Now we can see that there are 2 parallel line, or in a given plane it may be possible that 3, 4, 5 parallel line, and interval between them may be same or may be different, depend upon the part. Let us say in a first case, here line L is parallel to line M. Then symbolically it is represented as line L is parallel to line M and written as line L parallel to line M. This double vertical line is nothing but symbolic presentation of parallel line, or you can say parallel lines. Here I have shown you 2 lines, but now here I have introduced 3 lines over here. Let us say I am going to call first line as a, second line as a B, third line as a C. In this case, now here there are 3 lines as a parallel line. So the parts is, here we can say that line A parallel to line B parallel to line C. Here line may be 2, line may be 3, line may be 4, line may be 5. Means 2 or more than 2 lines are given in front of you, and the structure is going to explain one by one. Now this parallel line which is introduced in your syllabus, it also contains one additional part, and that concept is called as transversal. What is exactly mean by transversal? Transversal means a line which intersect the parallel line. For example, here I am going to draw a line and name of this line say N. Now you can say L and M are parallel lines, L and M are parallel lines, and line N is act as a transversal. Line N is act as a transversal. Similarly, from this part also we can observe, here there are line A, B, C, and I have drawn one line which is act as a transversal, and I am giving this line name as a E. Now again you can say that line A parallel to line B parallel to line C, and line E is act as transversal to it. Depending upon the condition of a transversal, some angles are get formed. Among them, we have to understand 3 groups over here. First is called as corresponding angle. Second is called as an interior angle. And third is called as alternate angle. And you must able to understand that properly. Then we can move to the theorem and the next part. Now, in the first case, we are trying to understand over here a group or pair of corresponding angles, and a part is. Here one by one I am going to draw a part. Let line L is parallel to line M. Again I am going to draw the same part. Line L is parallel to line M. Now I have drawn one line called as a transversal over here, and I am going to indicate it by name, so called as N. Now remember, when first line L intersect with N, there are 4 angles, 1, 2, 3, 4, which is get formed over here, and the part is, I am going to indicate this angle by angle A, angle B, angle C, and angle D. These are the four angles that I have indicated over here. Next, when line M get intersect N, again there are 1, 2, 3, 4 angle get formed. Here I am going to indicate by E, F, G, H. Now 4 plus 4, 8 angles get formed. But here there is a condition in terms of corresponding angle. Now whatever part that I have drawn, I am going to draw the same part over here. Whatever part that I have drawn, I am going to write same part over here, just introducing step by step concept over here. Once again, your line L is parallel to line M and your line N is a transversal. In this case, we have to write corresponding angles. So the part is corresponding angle or pair of corresponding angle. I am going to write corresponding angles. And the part is here one by one A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H. These are the 8 angles. Among them first angle A and angle E. So I am going to do this first, angle A and angle E. So angle A is equal to angle E or angle E equal to angle A, and these two angles are called as corresponding angles. So your first part, angle A equal to angle E, and this is called as first pair of corresponding angle. So the first part is angle A congruent to angle E, or you can say angle A equal to angle E, and here angle A equal to angle E, that is called as first pair of corresponding angles. Now second part, here below line L I am going downstairs, means your value of B, so I am indicating it as a B, and angle line M below there is F, so I am going to write F. So now here angle B corresponds to angle F, angle B is corresponds to angle F, and this is second pair of corresponding angle. So second part is angle B is equal to angle F, and it is nothing but second pair of corresponding angles. Similarly, we are coming into third pair and the part is here we have written angle C and angle G. Again I am going to introduce angle C and angle G. Now here angle C equal to angle G or angle G equal to angle C, and angle C and G are called as corresponding angle of each other. So your third pair is angle C equal to angle G. So here angle C equal to angle G or angle G equal to angle C, and this is called as the third pair of corresponding angle. Now last and fourth over here, that is nothing but remaining angle D and remaining angle H. So D and H, which is over here. Now here angle D is corresponds to angle H or angle H equal to angle D, and these are called as corresponding angles. So fourth pair, angle D is equal to angle H, and this is a last pair of corresponding angle. Means you can say that there is a first and second, means two parallel line intersected by a transversal, that is nothing but N. If there are two parallel line intersected by a transversal, then we can get 1, 2, 3, 4 pair of corresponding angles. We are getting 4 pairs of corresponding angle. Once again a slant revision. Angle A is corresponding angle of E or E is corresponding angle of A. Second, angle B is corresponds to F or angle F is corresponds to angle B. Next, angle C is corresponding angle of G or angle G is corresponding angle of C. And last, angle D is corresponding angle of H or angle H is corresponding angle of D. And in this way, we are using some concept on which numericals are in your syllabus. Now, once again I am going to give you a small revision over here, and in a small revision I am going to clear some part over here. Once again, line L is parallel to line M and line N is act as a transversal. Line L is parallel to line M and line N is act as a transversal. Angles are starting from A, B, C, D. And for second line M and N intersect at E, F, G, H. and the respective angles are. Here we are writing corresponding angles. So corresponding angles, and the part is angle A equal to angle E. Revise yourself. Angle A equal to angle E. Angle B is equal to angle F. Angle B is equal to angle F. Third, angle C equal to angle G. Angle C equal to angle G. And last, angle H equal to angle D or angle D equal to angle H. Angle D is equal to angle H. In this way, you can remember all four pairs. Now, tricky method from here. Remember one part. Here angle A and angle E. Just observe this structure. It is just like an inverted F. Angle A equal to angle E. So I am going to write it over here. A, E. If you want to observe this structure, it looks like a reverse F or opposite F. Same, angle B equal to angle F. So this is again F-like structure. B and F. So here B equal to F. Again it is a structure like F. Now exactly F is in this direction. If you want to observe this part, angle C equal to angle G. Angle C equal to angle G. And the last part, angle D equal to angle H. Angle D equal to angle H. In this case, this is a small trick. You just remember the word F when you are going to consider corresponding angles. So angle A equal to angle E, angle B equal to angle F, angle C equal to angle G, and angle D equal to angle F. You simply remember the word F, you can remember this part, and this is a trick for you. Now student, please pay attention. We are using same diagram for interior angle as well as alternate angle. So this diagram is your source diagram for all the answer in terms of formula, remember. Now in a second term, in a second group, we are trying to understand alternate angles. Now first of all, the part is we have to write a pair of alternate angles. And the part is, again I am going to keep the structure same, means here line L is parallel to line M. Here line L is parallel to line M, and your line N is act as a transversal. Line N is act as a transversal. Again angle nomenclature is also same, means A, B, C, D. Four angles, E, F, G, H, four angles. Now what is exactly meant by alternate angles? Here alternate angles means a part when there are two lines parallel, third line act as a transversal. Then here your angle B, which is over here, and angle H, which is over here. Angle B is called as alternative angle of H, or H is called as the alternative angle of B. So I am going to write the part. Angle B is alternative angle of H. Angle B is equal to angle H. Angle B equal to angle H. And this angle C is called as alternative angle of E. This angle C is called as the alternative angle of E. And second part is angle C is equal to angle E. Here angle C equal to angle E. These are called as alternate angles. Angle B equal to angle H is the first pair of alternate angle, and angle C equal to angle E. This is called as the second pair of alternate angle. Now again, if you want to remember it, you just remember the word Z. What does it mean? Let me clear. Now student, already in the last lecture, we have started a concept of corresponding angle. After that, we have completed alternate angle. Now we are in the pair of interior angle. Means in this lecture, we have to understand pair of interior angles. In this case, once again angle structure remains same. Means let us say this is the line L which is parallel to line M and line N is act as a transversal. So line L is parallel to line M and line N is act as a transversal. 1, 2, 3, 4, 4 angle get formed. 1, 2, 3, 4, 4 angle get formed. Keeping the same nomenclature means angle A, angle B, angle C, angle D. 4 angle. And next angle E, F, G and H. And remember, now we have to find a pair of interior angles. Now here, pair of interior angles, they are not equal, their property is something different. What is that property? Try to understand. Now here angle B and angle E, these are nothing but the part which is over here. Angle B and angle E, it is called as a pair of interior angle and angle addition of these angle is 180 degree. Means angle B and angle E, these are called as the interior angles, or you can say a pair of interior angles. And this pair is nothing but angle B and angle E. Angle B and angle E. And remember, their property is something different. Angle B or angle B may be equal, may not be equal, it depends upon the structure. But their angle addition is 180 degree. I repeat, angle addition is 180 degree. Means angle B plus angle E. For interior, this property is totally different. And the part is angle B plus angle E. Their angle addition is 180 degree. Means as per your part, angle B plus angle E is equal to 180 degree. And this is the property called as a property of interior angle. No doubt, this is not only one property, it is also true. Now, in a second pair, angle C and angle H. In a second pair, angle C and angle H. Here, angle C and angle H is also called as a pair of interior angle. Angle C and angle H. Angle C and angle H. And again, property remains same. Angle C plus angle H. Angle C plus angle H. And their addition is always 180 degree. Now, just like for corresponding angle and interior angle, corresponding angle and alternate angle, we have some fundamental concept for interior angle. You just remember the word C. What does it mean? Let us say angle B and angle E. Let us say angle B and angle E. Angle B and angle E. And for this part, angle C and angle H. So, angle C and angle H. Here you can remain or understand it as angle C, or you can say the word C, and here reverse C. This is also one technique to remember a pair of interior angle. So first, angle B plus angle E. Angle B plus angle E is 180 degree, and second, angle C plus angle H, that is also 180 degree. And this is called as pair of interior angle. So the statement is that sum of the angles of interior angle is 180 degree. Sum of the angles of interior angle is 180 degree. And in this case, we are using that part in case of a logical. Our first proof, I repeat, our first proof is always start from this assumption, and that is called as hypothetical or logical proof. Here we are using this concept for base part, and along with that we are going to prove all the theorems. Now student, please pay attention. We are going to start the first part of proof, and that is nothing but interior angle theorem. It is also called as assumption type of proof or attempted part in terms of direct proof. Here the part is if two parallel lines intersected by a transversal, means they are already given that the lines are parallel line. If two parallel lines intersected by a transversal, interior angles on either side of a transversal, means any one side, interior angles on either side of a transversal are supplementary. Means they have given us a two parallel line, they have also provided us a transversal, and we have to take or prove the part. Either side of interior angle, means any one side of an interior angle, they are supplementary. Supplementary means their angle addition is 180 degree. That we have to prove. Remember, in this case, we are going to draw a diagram over here. Again, we are going to write a given over here. We are going to write it to prove over here. And also, in case of a proof, case 1, case 2, case 3 are taken into consideration as a study case. And in that case, I am going to create entire structure in front of you. So pay attention because I am going to draw it directly. Now, as per discuss, we have drawn two lines as a parallel line, two lines as a parallel line, third line act as a transversal, and we have to write the answer in the form of given, to prove and proof. So one by one I am going to create a structure over here. First of all, we are supposed to observe this diagram carefully. Now here, let us say line L is one line parallel to line M, and here I am going to indicate line M as a transversal. So as per given condition, line L is parallel to line M and line N is act as a transversal. Now we have to discuss about the concept of interior angle. So I am going to take two angles first, angle A and angle B. And now my target is to prove that angle A plus angle B is equal to 180 degree. This is one side, means either side. You can also have another side over here. So I am going to indicate these two angles over here by angle C and angle D. Means we can also one part angle C plus angle D is also 180 degree. Whatever part which is observing from the diagram, we are going to write in the form of observation, nothing but given. So here, first part is nothing but given. So as per diagram, line L is parallel to line M. Line L parallel to line M. And line M is act as a transversal. Line M is transversal. Next part, angle A and angle B. Angle A and angle B are interior angle. You can also have a part angle C and angle D are also interior angles. Also angle C and angle D are interior angles or either side of an interior angle. Now, proof. In that case, we have to write first to prove. According to that diagram, what we have to prove? We have two choices. First, you can prove angle A plus angle B is equal to 180 degree. Your first choice. Either you can prove angle A plus angle B is equal to 180 degree. Else, you can also prove another part. That is, either side they contain angle C and angle D. So angle C plus angle D is 180 degree. You can prove either first one or second one anyway. And in that case, we have to take one. So I am going to take angle A plus angle B is 180 degree. We cannot have direct assumption over here. There may be three possibility. What is that? About angle A and angle B. No doubt, we have to prove that angle A plus angle B is 180 degree. But it may be possible that angle A plus angle B may be less than 180 degree. Next, angle A plus angle B may be greater than 180 degree. And third possibility, angle A plus angle B, what we want to prove as a proof, angle A plus angle B is 180 degree. Means we have to assume all the three cases into consideration, and that is why we have to use this theorem is called as logical theorem. And the part is, here I am going to write the form in structures of numbers, statement and reasons. And the part is, here one by one. First, according to diagram, there may be three cases. So I am going to write, according to diagram, we have three cases. Case number 1, angle A plus angle B. Here, angle A plus angle B may be less than 180 degree. Angle A plus angle B may be less than 180 degree. Our second case, that is, angle A plus angle B may be greater than 180 degree. And third case, what we want to prove, that is angle A plus angle B exactly equal to 180 degree. Now in this case, a logic says that first of all you have to check or cross check that angle A plus angle B whether it is less than 180 or not. If it may come true or false, and definitely in calculation it become false. So this assumption will be get cancelled or first choice is get blocked. Second, we have to take the consideration angle A plus angle B is greater than 180 degree. After our assumption and calculation, it is also get wrong. Naturally, first option is not correct, second option is not correct, and among three, one is correct. Naturally, the last one is correct. In this way, we are going to complete it. So sometimes it is also called an assumption type of proof. But this is considered as a base. I repeat, this is considered as a base for your parallel line. And interior angle is called as a basic angle theorem. And depending upon this theorem, in terms of proof, we are going to complete other proof directly. So this is the most important for your understanding. Now, we are going to start from case 1 and the part is, first part over here. I would write it as case 1. And angle A plus angle B. So I would write, let us assume angle A plus angle B. Angle A plus angle B is less than 180 degree. Is less than 180 degree. Now, if I am going to consider angle A plus angle B, if I am going to consider angle A plus angle B is less than 180 degree, then what are the problems? Observe this diagram very carefully. If I want to consider that angle A plus angle B, angle A plus angle B is less than 180, then automatically problem will be start for your line L and line M. Why? Because we assume that this line L and M are parallel. But if I am going to say angle A plus angle B is less than 180, then definitely at certain point these two lines get interacted with each other. Means the line M and line L will touch each other somewhere. But as per our assumption, these two lines are parallel line. But as per our assumptions, these are parallel line. Why? Because they have given it. So, they have already given line L is parallel to line M. And definition of parallel lines is that they never intersect each other. Means, the part I am going to explain over here. Let us assume angle A plus angle B is 180 degree. Then, line L and line M intersect each other at some point. Definitely line L and M will get intersect each other at some point. But we have given that line L and line M are parallel. So I will write the part. But it is given that line L is parallel to line M. Why? Because it is given to us. Now, if line L is parallel to line M, it itself indicates that they never intersect each other. And it is contrast with Euclid postulate that we have taken as a parallel line base. Naturally, Euclid postulate become wrong over here, means our assumption is also wrong. So, angle A plus angle B is less than 180 degree. Therefore, angle A plus angle B is less than 180 is not possible. And in this way, our first case that angle A plus angle B is less than 180, what we assume is not possible. Means our first assumption is wrong. Definitely student in a book, they have written in some different manner. Just I am going to clear all the proof over here from pattern. You have to write the proof from your textbook, same as a copyright. Now we have to understand second case, that is angle A plus angle B is greater than 180 degree. But for that part, I am going to erase all this sector. I am going to erase all this sector and completing the proof over here. So please write down properly. Now let us assume that case 2. Let us suppose angle A plus angle B is greater than 180 degree is true. If we assume this case, then what are the possibility? Let us come to the diagram over here and we can have, as per the part, angle A plus angle B. I'm going to draw angle A plus angle B. This angle A plus angle B is greater than 180, means addition is more than 180. One is your line L, second your line M, and third transversal is N over here. Now as we are assuming angle A plus angle B is greater than 180, angle A plus angle B is greater than 180, then connected to A there is another angle D, and connected to B or a linear pair there is angle C. Automatically we will get the relation. We know that angle A plus angle D is 180 degree. Why? Because if these are linear pair. Next, angle B plus angle D, their addition is also 180 because these are nothing but linear pair. And if I am going to make addition of all these four, that become 360 degree. Automatically I have to take the condition what we are applying over here and the part is. So try to understand over here what I am going to explain. We are assuming, let us suppose angle A plus angle B is greater than 180 degree. Then what are the problems? Here one by one. As we have mentioned over there, first, angle A plus angle D is equal to 180 degree. The reason is nothing but linear pair of angle. We are also angle B plus angle C. Angle B plus angle C, their addition is also 180 degree. Reason remains same, so I am going to make combined reason over here. Angle A plus angle D is 180 degree, as well as angle B plus angle D is 180 degree. If I am going to add these both equation, over here, then it's a part. Angle A plus angle B plus angle C plus angle D, this will be my LHS. Is equal to 180 plus 180, that 360, that is RHS. So writing that part and the part is. Therefore, angle A plus angle B plus angle C plus angle D and their addition 180 plus 180, it become 360 degree. Now, main twisting part will be start over here. We have correlation about angle A plus B. From where we know that as per our assumption, we are assuming that angle A plus angle B is greater than 180. So this angle A plus angle B, this addition I am going to shift to RHS and the part is. Then your angle C plus angle D and the part is. Angle C plus angle D is equal to, this is 360, and shifting this angle A plus angle B over there. So minus in the bracket angle A plus angle B. Now, if you want to make a calculation, observe it first carefully what we have done. Angle A plus angle D is 180. Next, angle B plus angle C is 180. Both are linear pair. Naturally, angle A plus angle B plus angle C plus angle D, this is LHS. Angle A plus angle B plus angle C plus angle D is equal to 180 plus 180, that is 360 over here. We have kept angle C plus angle D at one side and 360 entire unit shifted over there as 360 minus angle A plus angle B. Now in that case, as per our part, angle A plus angle B is greater than 180 degree. So I am going to write the part. Therefore, as angle A plus angle B is greater than 180 as per our as we have supposed it that it is greater than 180, then in that case automatically this value, that is 360 minus angle A plus angle B, this value, if 360 minus more than 180 value I am going to subtract, this subtraction will be automatically less than 180 degree. So we have got, therefore this value 360 minus angle A plus angle B, whatever may be this value, but this value is definitely less than 180 degree. If 360 minus in a bracket angle A plus angle B, their addition is less than 180, in this case there is another part will get formed. What is this value? That is the value of nothing but angle C plus angle D. Automatically we can get a relation, and that part is angle C plus angle D. That is the conclusion over here. Angle C plus angle D. This value automatically become less than 180 degree. As angle C plus angle D is less than 180. Now observe this part from that diagram. Observe this part from that diagram. And the part is, if I want to say angle C plus angle D, its addition is less than 180. If this addition is less than 180, naturally this line, when extended up to certain point, they may get interacted or intersected with each other. Automatically, these two lines will not act as a parallel line. It itself indicates that our second assumptions is also not correct or wrong. Declaring that part over here, and the part is, if angle C plus angle D is less than 180 degree, angle C plus angle D is less than 180 degree, automatically angle C plus angle D is less than 180, then this line will be get intersected at somewhere at a point. So I am going to write the part. Therefore, line L and line M will intersecting line towards angle C and D. In this case, if they are becoming intersecting line, then again what we written, line L and M are parallel, will become wrong. Naturally, if these are intersecting line, then automatically that line will not be parallel. Means our assumption, angle A plus angle B. Therefore, angle A plus angle B is greater than 180 degree is impossible. And in this way, second part or second section is over. Now our first and second case, both are become impossible, means not true. So we are going to try our third case, that is angle A plus angle C. So case 3, angle A plus angle B is equal to 180 degree. That is your case 3. So as angle A plus angle B is equal to 180 degree, considering it as a 2, naturally you are able to get the second parameter, that is angle C plus angle D. Therefore, also we can get angle C plus angle D is equal to 180 degree. And as angle A plus angle B is 180 degree, we automatically get angle C plus angle D is 180 degree, and still our all given remain as it is, means there is no change over there. Naturally, angle A plus angle B is equal to 180 degree is true. Therefore, angle A plus angle B is equal to 180 degree is true. Or you can say that addition of interior angle. Therefore, addition of interior angle is 180 degree. Means it is only true when the lines are parallel. It is only true when lines are parallel. And in this case, we are not going to do it direct, somehow indirect. So this proof is also called as indirect proof. Remember student, this is proof somehow elongated as well as this is indirect proof. So write it properly from your textbook so that you can get the benefit, and for revision you can use this video.